High-rep bodyweight calisthenics circuits are often overhyped by beginners and undervalued by advanced lifters, with good reason. Advanced lifters have been training long enough to realize most circuits suck for building muscle, and most beginners don't know any better. Let's change that. In this video, I'll cover why circuit training fails to build muscle, how to fix it, and why, when set up correctly, circuits are actually kinda insane for building lots of muscle all the way to the advanced stage, and how they've helped me to look like this, in good lighting at least. Popular bodyweight circuit training suffers from two main problems. One, it tries doing too many things at once, in the end accomplishing very little, and two, it doesn't offer any real long-term progression, meaning even if it does work, it likely won't work for long. Let's talk about those. To start, I'd want to say I won't be discussing what actually shows up when you type bodyweight circuit workout into the search bar. Just know planks and jumping jacks are involved. That stuff is fine, but I'm talking about building muscle all the way to the advanced stage here, so let's just skip over that for today, and instead look at something that seems a bit more reasonable. How about the common setup of 5 pull-ups, 10 push-ups, and 20 squats done back-to-back for 5 rounds with a minute rest between each round? That's a pretty typical setup, and on paper, it looks like a great idea. You've got your pulling muscles covered with the pull-ups, your pressing muscles with the push-ups, and your lower body with the squats. With 3 movements, you cover pretty much everything. Again, great on paper, but in practice, it misses the mark. In trying to do everything, the circuit accomplishes very little. Why is that? Well, first, look at the difficulty levels of these movements. Assuming there aren't any major imbalances, an average trainee might be able to do something like 6 pull-ups, 30 push-ups, and 60 bodyweight squats. I'd honestly say the squats could be much higher. 100 wouldn't be unreasonable at all if you ask me, but let's use 60 for today. Look at the ratio between these things, 6, 30, and 60. They are way out of balance. In terms of difficulty, these exercises do not belong together. With such a massive difference, the idea that you could actually push each one of these movements far enough to cause real muscle growth all at the same time is bold to say the least. Actually, I'll just say it, it's wrong. If the goal is building muscle and you pair these 3 together, at worst you get a workout that just doesn't work, and at best you get something that is maybe more fun than using basic straight sets, but ultimately wastes a bunch of time. And here I want to make sure I have made it clear, I don't have anything against this style of training. It's great for conditioning and for moving the body, but for actual muscle growth, I'm just not a fan. Anyway, let me explain. At the bottom of everything, to build a muscle, all you have to do is push that muscle at least kind of near its limit, give it time to recover, then do that again over and over for a long time. That's really all there is to it. A muscle grows in response to stress, and without increasingly higher levels of stress over time, that muscle will either stay at its current level or get smaller. Let's apply this concept to that previously mentioned circuit of 5 pull-ups, 10 push-ups, and 20 squats. Starting with the pull-ups, if a lifter can do 6 pull-ups currently, then sets of 5 are actually pretty good, and will be enough to cause muscle growth for a while. I'll give the circuit its win here. 5 sets of 5 will work at this strength level, and may continue working up until the lifter becomes strong enough to do 7, 8, or maybe even 9 in a set. But once that happens, sets of 5 will stop being effective for muscle growth, because a basic set of 5 will not cause enough stress to warrant adaptation. So the pull-ups are fine, for now at least. How about the push-ups? Well, straight away this already doesn't make any sense. Assuming the lifter can do 30 push-ups in a set, again, a reasonable number if he can also do 6 pull-ups, everyone is different, but this is within reason, then doing sets of 10 is a straight-up waste of time for building muscle. 10 reps won't push the muscles anywhere near their limit, and they will therefore have no reason to grow. You could make an argument for sets of 10 working when talking grease in the groove, I guess, building muscle by just accumulating lots of volume over time, and maybe by improving the skill of doing push-ups, leading to greater strength potential down the line, but that's just something else entirely, and doesn't really apply here. Remember, this circuit is only 5 rounds. How about the squats? Well, come on now. Sets of 20 when you could do 60, that won't do anything. Great for getting the heart rate up, but not for muscle. So altogether, you have a circuit that essentially just wastes a bunch of time on push-ups and squats, while maybe adding some size to the pulling muscles initially, before eventually becoming completely useless in all ways where muscle is concerned. As I said, at best you get a circuit that is maybe a bit more fun to do than basic straight sets, but ultimately wastes a bunch of time, and at worst, you get a circuit that simply doesn't work. Okay, you might say, but you're missing the point. The circuit works because fatigue builds up over time. Maybe set 1 is too easy, but surely by set 3 you'll get a good challenge. The idea is getting that cumulative fatigue. That is very much on the right track, and that's actually exactly why my style of circuit training works so well. But with this circuit here, the concept doesn't apply. Why? Again, it's back to that thing about the circuit trying to do too much at once. 5 pull-ups, 10 push-ups, 20 squats, rest 1 minute, and repeat. Using submaximal sets and relying on fatigue buildup can be a great way to build muscle. It works, but only if you actually allow the fatigue to build up. And with this circuit, there is simply way too much rest time between exercises for that to ever happen. Focusing on push-ups for a moment, say the 5 pull-ups take you about 10 seconds to do, the 20 squats take maybe 40 seconds, and it takes somewhere around 5 to 10 seconds total to move between exercises. Then you have that minute of rest between rounds. That's nearly 2 full minutes rest between every set of push-ups. In a normal context, this would be perfectly fine. 2 minutes rest between sets is usually a good place to be, but that's assuming those sets were challenging. Here, each set is only 10 reps when you could do a full 30. Could you build muscle with sets of 10 push-ups, even if you could do 30 in a single set? Yes, but not with a full 2 minutes rest between sets. For the idea of cumulative fatigue to apply, you'd want something like 30 seconds or less between sets of push-ups max. That way the muscles would never get the chance to recover completely, meaning each set would push them a little bit closer to their limit until eventually you'd reach that limit. If you did 10 reps, 10 seconds rest, another 10 seconds rest, and continued on in that way for a while, eventually you would reach the point where 10 reps becomes challenging, which would mean gains. With 2 minutes rest between sets though, it's just not going to happen. Once again, in trying to do too much at once, the circuit accomplishes very little. There are so many different ways you could fix this circuit. Let's go over a few common ideas. 1. You might try to improve the circuit by getting rid of that minute of rest between rounds, trying to just do all 5 rounds straight through. That's better, but still, if you're using sets of 5, 10, and 20, the rest times between sets of the same exercise will still be too long to really make use of cumulative fatigue. 2. You could get rid of the recommended rep scheme and just take each set to failure, 6 pull-ups, 30 push-ups, 60 squats, rest a minute, repeat 5 times, for example. That's way better, and it will work for building muscle. Technically, this stops being a circuit and becomes more of a giant set if you want to get technical. It's really just straight sets with some extra conditioning added in. That's fine, though I will say, having tried this method myself, in my opinion, you'd be way better off pairing your pull-ups and push-ups together and saving the legs for later to be done on their own. What actually ends up happening when you have all 3 together is you become so fatigued from all the squats, most workouts you'll end up stopping shy of failure in most of your sets, simply because you're so tired. In the end, accumulating less quality volume than you would have if you'd just done the basic 5 sets of each exercise on their own. Some days, this setup will feel like it gives you the best workout ever, but if you're ever not 100% on your game mentally, the workout will suffer. 3, and this is by far my favorite of everything I've discussed so far, you could just not do the sets of 20 squats and get your leg volume in a different way later in the workout or on a different day. Here you're left with a basic superset of pull-ups and push-ups. If you keep the previous recommendation of 5 pull-ups and 10 push-ups with 1 minute rest between rounds, the pairing will work okay, though you'll still be leaving a lot of gains on the table for the push-ups. If you really want to make the workout good, again, assuming you have the strength to do 6 pull-ups and 30 push-ups, I'd change the number of pull-ups per set to 3, move the push-ups to 5, then get rid of the rest time entirely, and just go back and forth between the 2 exercises without resting. I realize that ratio doesn't really make a lot of sense, 5 push-ups when you could do 30 and 3 pull-ups when you could do 6, but it's just one of those things you have to try for yourself. With this setup, I'd go for either max reps in 10 minutes, alternating back and forth between exercises non-stop for the full 10 minutes, or I'd try to reach a certain goal like 30 pull-ups and 50 push-ups as quickly as possible, while trying to do those reps faster every workout. Both of those are much better than the original circuit. 4. If you really want to keep the squats in there and you're dead set on that 5, 10, 20 rep scheme with 1 minute rest between rounds, you could alter the exercises so they become more challenging. Keep the pull-ups as they are, but switch the push-ups to something like diamond, decline, decline diamond, or deficit push-ups, something much more challenging than basic push-ups. Then replace the basic squats with something like sissy squats, pause squats with a jump, or something like that. Or switch to 10 per leg with assisted pistols or step-ups or whatever you find challenging. Honestly, I still don't like it very much, and in my opinion, it's leaving gains on the table for no real reason, but this is still much better than the original setup. 5. You could go all in with the style of circuit training I use myself, which is the best method out there if you ask me. Forget the basic recommendation altogether and do this. Look at these 5 patterns: vertical push and pull, horizontal push and pull, and core exercise, and choose 4 of them. A pulling exercise based on your experience level. Use a horizontal pull like inverted rows if you're still newer to lifting or you're currently at a higher body fat percentage, or use a vertical pull like pull-ups if you're more advanced or pretty lean. Choose a horizontal push like dips, one core exercise that also makes the back work a bit. Ab wheel rollouts or hanging leg raises are perfect for that. And one vertical push like pike push-ups for a total of 4 exercises. Let's go with pull-ups, dips, ab wheel rollouts, and pike push-ups. Next, decide on one of 2 rep schemes, either the 3-2-1 or the 5-3-2. Choose 3-2-1 if you can do 12 pull-ups or fewer in a set, and choose 5-3-2 if you can do 13 or more. Today, we'll use the 5-3-2. We're almost there. Now that we have the exercises and the rep scheme, make sure you have everything set up in your workout space so you can easily move from one exercise to the next, and once you have that, simply start a stopwatch on your phone and begin completing reps. 5 reps of each exercise, 3 reps of each exercise, then 2 reps of each exercise. Nice, you've officially completed your first round. Make a tally mark on your training log, then, if you can manage it, go directly into round 2 without resting. Do rest if you need to, but never plan ahead for it. From that point on, all you have to do is continue completing rounds over and over until you see that your stopwatch is somewhere in the 20 to 25 minute range, then stop and record how long it took you to do those rounds. Note, always be sure to complete the final round. Don't stop in the middle. Maybe you made it 5 rounds and it took you 23 minutes and 30 seconds. Good job. Next workout, get set up, start your timer, and make your way through those exact same 5 rounds again, only this time, try to complete them a little faster. Even 1 second faster is an improvement. Continue doing this every workout until you finish those 5 rounds in under 20 minutes, then celebrate. Awesome accomplishment. Next workout, all you have to do is add a round and start over. 6 rounds, trying to do them faster every workout until you finish 6 in under 20 minutes, then 7 rounds working towards 20 minutes, then 8, 9, and so on. Continue in this way until you fail to get a record 3 workouts in a row with the circuit, then switch to a different circuit using the same outline discussed earlier, horizontal or vertical pull depending on where you're at, horizontal push, ab exercise that also works the back a bit if possible, and vertical push. Note, even small changes are enough to change the circuit. Don't feel like you need to switch everything if you don't want to. Going from pull-ups, dips, ab wheel rollouts, and pike push-ups to pull-ups, diamond push-ups, rollouts, and decline pike push-ups is enough. This is the ultimate circuit. Maybe it sounds like a lot. There's certainly more going on here than there was with that 5, 10, 20 setup from earlier, that's for sure. But it's really not much once you get going. The main difference is this circuit actually works, and it continues working long term. I've been using these for nearly 7 years now, and I'm still making gains with them. If you want to use circuits in your training, let go of those typical uninformed recommendations you see everywhere, and give these a try. I know you'll be happy with the results. I know it because over the years I've had hundreds of people tell me so in the comments, and for every one person that says something, there are many others who don't. By my estimation, there are thousands out there right now at this very moment using these circuits on a weekly basis and making all kinds of gains. I hope you'll join us. I hope this helps and shed some light on why most people either straight up don't see any results from circuit training or just dismiss them without a second thought. If you want to know more about calisthenics circuit training, check out the deep dive video I made on screen now. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.